All right. It's now 24 minutes to 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching Citizen TV. We continue the coverage of what's happening and the impact of the measures that were announced yesterday by the president. I want us to cross over to Nyeri County. I don't know where to stand. Maybe I should stand on this side. I want us to speak to Martin Munene, who is in Nyeri County, of course, following with the situation with the Matatus that obviously ply from from Nyeri to Nairobi and Nairobi to Nyeri. Good morning, Martin. The directive came yesterday and said that nobody will be allowed to travel beyond 7 p.m. out of Nairobi or into Nairobi. What has been the impact there with especially the people that travel to Nairobi on a daily basis probably, and also the Matatu operators that apply that route?
All right, very good morning to you, Sam, from Nyeri County. Now, I am at the main bus park in Nyeri, where we have Matatus that fly the Nairobi-Nyeri route that leave Nyeri to Nairobi and vice versa. And I can say, Sam, it's a very interesting morning because ordinarily when we come here, you'd find that our vehicles here, like these vehicles you see, mostly they would be parked, their doors open, and passengers would be getting in because most of the people want to travel to Nairobi in the morning hours so that they can be able to get to their workplaces. But also for some who do business, they want to go to Nairobi early so that by maybe noon or so they are back to Nyeri and they can be able to have their commodities. Now, I've been speaking to members of the people who run 2NK Sacco, that is the biggest Sacco within this area and the region, and the largest market is actually between Nyeri and Nairobi. And they're saying now they have to think of alternative routes. Now they're thinking where else they can take these Matatus. Normally on a normal day, about 40 to 60 Matatus go to Nairobi every single day, but now none of them is going, so they have to be content with going to areas like Othaya within Nyeri County, to areas like Nyahururu and elsewhere. But some, besides the passengers who go to Nairobi, there's the question of people, especially business people, who get their commodities from Nairobi. Ordinarily what happens, Sam, is that they'll send a Matatu. They may not go themselves, but then the Matatu will go collect the parcel for them or whatever parchment they have and bring it back. But now that cannot happen. Last week, some of the people who are saying that even the curfew has affected them include people who sell fruits. Now fruits are very important, but most of the fruits apparently come from abroad, for example, apples and oranges, and most of the people are feeling that it will not work because of the curfew. Then now with the restrictions in and out of Nairobi, especially because they do not use private means, ordinarily they transport these commodities using public means. Therefore, with the ban on public transport in and out of Nairobi, they cannot be able to trade. Traders, for example, who sell clothes have to go and get their clothes from Nairobi. Now that is not possible. People who sell electronics go and get their commodities from Nairobi. Also now that is not possible. And quite a number of things, because like you know, Nyeri in itself does not have enough industries to produce what they need. So a lot of commodities apart from food comes from Nairobi, and therefore a lot of people have been restricted. Also, there are people who work in Nyeri, have their families in Nairobi or counties around, that is Kiambu and also Machakos and the likes. They work in Nyeri and live there, or live there and work in Nyeri, and therefore that movement has also been stopped. So quite a number of people will be stuck here over the weekend. But as for now, Sam, as you can see, I don't know if the cameraman would show you, where you see that particular Matatu parked is where the bus, or is where the shuttles actually are parked and passengers get in there. But as you can see, that Matatu, the one that is parked, there's no one inside. These are the Matatus that you see, are Matatus that ferry passengers are within Nyeri town or within Nyeri County, and so they're just coming, dropping passengers and leaving. But as it is right now, no Matatu is leaving for Nairobi. Passengers have to contend with that. Of course, we'll be trying to speak to the management later, also on record, for them to just tell us what this has in terms of an impact to their business, and also how else it will affect the residents of Nyeri. But for now, in fact, it's weird that the drivers are here, but now they also don't know where to go exactly, because they had to report to work. I think as they wait for directions from their leaders. But as it is, no Matatu is leaving for Nairobi. Business people, I don't know what they're going to do, but we are going to be following up. But as it is, the directive has already taken effect here, and no Matatu is leaving for Nyeri. Back to you in studio, Sam.
All right, thank you so much, Amasim. And of course, clearly one can see the 20K circle, the shelves there, that nobody that they are serving. Actually, the people that were standing just behind you was sort of some of the officials or probably the drivers. So that's the situation in Nyeri County. Let's cross over and see what's happening at in Uasin Gishu County, specifically in Eldoret Town, where John Wanyama, I almost called you Martin Wanyama. John Wanyama is standing by. So we see in Nyeri that, well, it's okay. We see in Nyeri that there are several people that use the Matatus to ferry their goods to the city or from the city to Nyeri. I don't know how much of transport between Nairobi and Eldoret happens. What sort of goods are transported between the two cities, despite apart from the passengers?
Sam, a very good morning, and in Eldoret, indeed, transport has been paralyzed completely. You know, Nairobi is like a heart. When you lock Nairobi, definitely you have locked the entire country. And in Nairobi, as you have said, this is the main stage here. If my cameraman can show you, on a normal day, this is the main stage where people always come here to look for vehicles to carry them all the way to Nairobi. But clearly, as you can see, there is only one vehicle here, an indicator that most of businesses here have been paralyzed. It's not as business as usual anymore, Sam, in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, because as you can see, we have been told that on a normal day, they have almost 700 vehicles channeling from Eldoret to Nairobi, but only up to now, since morning, they have only one vehicle, which is supposed to be now traveling all the way to Nakuru. And now most of the people who have the Matatus are channeling their vehicles to other parts of this country. Let's say that is Bungoma, Kakamega, and all the way to Kitale. But also remember, those routes also, they had to have their own vehicles that were carrying people on those particular routes. So it's not business as usual. And some, as you can see here, I can talk to one or two people who work here, and maybe they are saying their businesses have been paralyzed. My brother, if you can come here, they have been paralyzed. They work here and maybe have something on the table just because of this particular lockdown in Nairobi. They are saying their business have been really paralyzed. What is your name, sir? Na pengine wewe unafanya biashara gani? Na hii imekuadhiri vipi?
Shika zao ni kupanga magari. Mwache naitwa Boniface. Mimi mkaaji huko. Hasa vile rais alisema wafunge kazi yetu. Mtu kama mimi naumia. Kama sasa nyumba nadaiwa hata hii mwezi ilisha tujalipa bado. Sasa nitaanzia wapi, nitaenda wapi? Kama serikali ingetuhurumia, itupe hata loan bwana. Juu maneno ndio imetuaffect. Hii gonje imeleta shida yote. Hakuna kazi, nimefutwa kazi. Sasa inafikia hata familia ende nyumbani, fare sina pesa. Naomba rais atusaidie tu.
Thank you. Sam, I don't know when Kenyans will understand that whatever is happening here is not only for the president. The president is not doing for himself, but it's being done for all Kenyans so that they can be safe. Tomorrow, even if the economy is bad, they are saying, as the president was saying, it's better for them to be safe and alive so that they can start again afresh tomorrow. But Sam, there are those whom I know, they had traveled to Nairobi yesterday and to check on their patients, but now they have not now locked in Nairobi. They have not been allowed to travel. There is one person who was also in a quarantine in Nairobi, and she was released yesterday, but up to now she's not going again to travel. So it's an issue that residents are saying Nairobi is a heart. And once you dislocate or once you lock one of the body parts, every part and every place of your body will feel the pinch and the pain. So Nairobi being locked, residents from Eldoret are also suffering. And as you can see, the jam is so easy today. Vehicles moving up and down, just like you might think today is on a Sunday, but no. Today is on a Tuesday when people should be really busy and going to Nairobi to bring whatever they bring for their shops, for their businesses. But up to now, Sam, things are not as usual, and it's not business as usual. Sam.
All right. Thank you so much, John Wanyama. I believe where you're standing, that's the Uganda road that passes through Eldoret town. There's a gentleman who is next to you, just wants to be seen on TV. But all the same, thank you so much for giving us an update of what it looks like. And yes, Nairobi is a heart. And when it doesn't beat properly, then it affects other places of the country. Of course, John Wanyama coming to us live from Eldoret. And I just want us to take a look at some of the areas that are affected with this cessation of movements within the Nairobi Nairobi Metropolitan. I just want us to be specific. So this is the map of the Nairobi Metropolitan. You'll not be allowed to come in if you're coming from the side of Kiambu County. This is the area of Githurai. You'll not be allowed to come in through the side of Machakos County, especially after Katani area. So Athi River also, you're not allowed to come into the city beyond that point. Kiserian, Ongata Rongai, Ngong, as well as Kikuyu. This should be the area around Rironi and thereabout, and then the areas of Denderu, you're not allowed to get in and also to get out. So this is the other side of the story, that if you are stuck in Nairobi, don't go out. If you're stuck outside Nairobi, don't come in. You had John Wanyama speaking about the situation that there are people that have been stuck that came to Nairobi and they were not able to get out of the city. So these are the areas. Kiambu, well, it just disappeared. So Kiserian, Ngong, Rongai, Kitengela, Machakos, Athi River, Katani. For Machakos County, Athi River and Katani areas are affected. For Kiambu County, it was past Thika, that is the Chania Bridge, as well as past Rironi. So those are the Rironi, Kiambu Town, and Denderu. Okay, I don't know how the spelling there just happened, but we got it right. So we had the principal secretary saying that for people that have been in Nairobi, I mean, for the 21 days, just stay within Nairobi. You can pay for your accommodation. It's going to be very expensive, of course, because these are unplanned costs, but all the same, we will be watching and seeing the impact of that. So after the break, we'll be speaking to Fred Obachi Machoka. He calls himself the blackest man in Black Africa. I don't know why. But all the same, we'll be speaking to him to tell us about the situation working from home, given the situation we have in the country that we have to reduce the people that are at work. So we'll be talking to Fred Machoka shortly after the break.